When you think of Albert Einstein, what's the first thing that comes to mind? E equals mc squared, right? The wild hair, the brilliant physicist. But there's this whole other side to him, Einstein the philosopher. And that's what we're going to dive into, his incredible wisdom on how to think, how to live, and how to just see the world. So let's start with the one idea that really unlocked it all.
This right here, this was the engine behind his genius. See, for him, it wasn't just about what he already knew, it was all about what he could envision. I mean, he famously imagined himself riding on a beam of light, and that single thought experiment, that's what led to the theory of relativity. That's the power of this idea in action, and honestly, it's the foundation for his entire worldview.
So let's just stick with that for a moment. For Einstein, the mind isn't some container you just fill up with facts. Nope, it's a fire that needs to be ignited. So this first section is all about digging into his unique approach to thinking, the very foundation of his genius.
And this really breaks it down perfectly, doesn't it? On the one hand, you've got knowledge. Think of it as a library of things that have already happened. It tells you what is. It's finite. But then on the other hand, you have imagination, and that is a rocket ship. It creates brand new possibilities for the future. Like Einstein said, logic will get you from A to B, but imagination will take you everywhere. It's really the difference between reading a map and designing a whole new world.
So you might be wondering, how did he fuel that incredible imagination? Well, he had this sort of mental toolkit. First, a passionate curiosity. He actually claimed he had no special talent beyond this. Second, an understanding that real knowledge, it comes from direct experience, not just from reading about something in a book. And third, the real engine of it all, never, ever stop questioning. And the great thing is, this isn't some secret toolkit just for geniuses. It's a mindset that any of us can adopt.
Now, this powerful way of thinking wasn't just for his work in physics. It shaped his entire philosophy on life itself. So let's shift from the internal world of the mind to the external world of action and explore his ideas on what it means to live a life of value, not just a life of success.
This quote just perfectly captures his philosophy. I mean, we live in a world that is obsessed with success, right? Wealth, fame, status, all of it. But Einstein pushed us to focus on something totally different: value. It's a huge shift from asking, what can I get, to asking, what can I give? And of course, creating value requires that exact same imagination we were just talking about, the ability to envision a better way of doing things and then contribute that to the world.
And being Einstein, he naturally had a formula for it, with his classic touch of humor. If A is success in life, then the equation is A equals X plus Y plus Z. Simple enough. X is work, Y is play, and Z, well, Z is keeping your mouth shut. It's a simple, memorable guide, isn't it? Work hard, make time for joy, and learn the wisdom of knowing when to speak and when to just listen.
This idea is absolutely crucial for living a life of value. You simply can't contribute anything new if you're afraid of making a mistake. He saw mistakes not as failures, but as proof. Proof that you are experimenting, that you're innovating. They're basically just evidence that you're actually trying.
Okay, so we've looked at his philosophy on thinking and on living. Now let's get practical. How can we use his insights to solve the challenges we all face every day? This section is a toolkit for tackling problems with a completely different kind of mindset.
We have to start here, with his legendary definition of insanity. It's so famous because it is so universally true. We've all been there, right? Stuck in a loop, trying the same failed approach again and again, but somehow expecting a different outcome. Just recognizing that you're in that trap is the very first step to breaking free.
And here is his solution. The crucial point here is that a problem that's born from a certain level of thinking can't be solved at that same level. You can't escape the box using the same logic that built the box. To find a real solution, you have to elevate your thinking, change your perspective, and approach the problem from a totally new angle.
This is one of my absolute favorite principles. It's the ultimate test of understanding. If you can't explain a complex idea with the simple clarity a child could grasp, then you probably haven't truly mastered it yourself. Real genius isn't about complexity. It's about profound simplicity.
With his characteristic wit, Einstein brings us right back down to earth. This quote is humorous, for sure, but it's also a really humbling reminder of our own limitations. It's the perfect pivot from the practicalities of problem solving to his much grander, more philosophical perspective on our place in the cosmos.
So for our final section, let's explore that cosmic perspective. because beyond all the equations and theories, Einstein had this profound sense of awe and wonder about the universe. And he believed that feeling was the true source of all great art and science.
You can really distill this cosmic perspective into 3 key ideas. First, he believed that by looking deep into nature, you could start to understand everything else better. Second, that the most beautiful thing we can experience is the mysterious. That's where all true art and science come from. And finally, a really humbling thought. Our intelligence only serves to show us how very much we still don't know.
And this brings us to his final, powerful challenge. He said there are 2 ways to live your life. One is as though nothing is a miracle. The other is as if everything is. And at the end of the day, this isn't about physics or philosophy. It's a choice about perspective. It's a question that really leaves us to reflect on how we see our own world, and it encourages a sense of wonder that can truly change everything.